Hello guys. Today I'm going to be doing something I do not normally do and I don't think I've ever done in the history of humanity. I'm going to be redoing a video that I did almost a full year ago, on July 30th, 2021, called Ranking Every Rav Album from Best to Worst. Now, I have a couple of main reasons. One, the editing was really bad. It took me a long time because I just needed to find the songs and download them, and downloading takes a minute. But the editing was not really that good. There were really no entertaining visuals, as people have stated, and it just really isn't a worthwhile video to watch as my tastes have changed and everything has changed. I've discovered more albums. I've found pretty much every single album, as far as I know. Of course, if there are more, feel free to tell me. And the other thing I was gonna say is, oh, actually, never mind. I've literally stated everything. There are 3 things, and those are the 3 I've already stated. Alright, well, I'll cut to the chase. Let me get right into it, and first I'm gonna start with an introduction of Ravs, so let's cut to that real quick. Hey guys, if you need an introduction to Rav, I gotcha. Skip to the timestamp that's on screen if you really don't want to know about Rav. So, Rav, I believe last name Melling, not sure, don't know, is someone born in the USSR, moved to the UK, then moved to the US, where now he makes music with his good old pals, Kill Bill, Square Aerospace, and anybody else that's on his label or rap group of EXO. Maybe Exociety for not short, for long. That's not really a statement here a lot, though. So, when did Rav start? I really don't know, but I believe 2008 is the earliest thing I could find on Rav. So when he started making songs, I believe that's with Bsides Volume 1 or the Hyperkinesis EP. Either one, I believe Bsides Volume 1. I don't understand why they called B-sides, don't ask me, because there's no A-sides, there's no normal, it's just called B-sides anyways, and there's like a bunch of albums of them. So, Rav is an indie rapper who makes songs that is indie rap. He doesn't necessarily, he's not owned by a label, in fact he owns a label, and he makes stuff with his friends. He produces his own beats, but he also uses other beats that people don't necessarily produce for him, but he finds the instrumentals and uses them. I don't know if he asks around, he probably does, considering that would be proper etiquette. I find instrumentals all the time, but he finds a lot of them, and the productions he does are really good. He's really good at the sad type aesthetic, the nihilistic, the sarcastic type music and lyricism that I really genuinely appreciate in what he makes. And that's why now he's definitely one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite. I believe to be my absolute favorite. If I had to listen to anybody, it'd be Rav. What else can I say? Not really much, so I don't want to waste anybody's time. Let's just get to the ranking.
She was my bank of insecurities. I was a bag of immaturity. She was the Vicodin curing me. Yo, what I make this shit sound like a eulogy. You were the lens through which life seemed so beautiful. The essence of my sickness that I didn't need a cure for. Pure lore at first, but you blurred the lens. My eyes tensing hard to get a focus, and I failed to recognize my heart and my mind can't reconcile for my next move. Yet I feel like if I don't make one, then I'll just lose. Finally leaving Lavender Town. Used to drive myself insane, but I'm the passenger now. Now perfection sits behind the steering wheel and takes a left, and yet still manages to do right by me. Manages how.
So that album was Beneath the Toxic Jungle. Very great album. I believe it is 100% his best. There's a reason I say that. I say because the instrumentals chosen. I say because of the people featured, Kill Bill being the most prominent, being one of my favorite artists, and the overall tone of it. Now, I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but the lyrics are generally melancholy. That's with a lot of Rav songs. But the, instrumentals they're not necessarily upbeat, but it's not overt there's going to be anything negative. I think that's really awesome. I think it's great. It's not necessarily a disconnect between understanding how shit works. It's more so like either irony or just overall good pick. I mean, it's not necessarily, it's not that it's upbeat, it's just that it's not overt that anything negative will be spoken on. I think Save Face As is probably the best instrumental fitting for the lyrics. just because it's sort of like a not necessarily, I don't want to say cocky tone, but sort of just like the tone is very fitting. Like, Safe Face, as the lyrics are sort of cocky, but the instrumental's not necessarily upbeat, but it's not like, I don't know, I don't really want to say low beat, because I don't know if that's the correct term, but it's not sad, it's just, like, there, and it's very good, it's a very good job at that, and I feel like all of the instrumentals chosen do a very good job of that, and I think that there are certain times you can tell, and that Rav is talking about something negative, but the beat is upbeat, and I feel like that irony is purposeful. I feel like that it is definitely purposeful, because I feel like Rav knows how songs work, and I think he knows how to really convey emotion and opinion in an ironic way in songs. I don't feel like that's done a lot throughout Beneath the Toxic Jungle. I believe everything's pretty straightforward. The instrumentals are fitting to the lyrics. Nothing's really too negative in Beneath the Toxic Jungle, as we see later albums like I'm On To Me really are, and those are definitely, you can tell that there's something negative. It's a negative emotion whole album, and I like that album, I definitely do, but it's not number one. Beneath the Toxic Jungle is number one for all the reasons stated, and because I personally just vibe with the songs. I don't necessarily relate to any of them, maybe Lavender if anything, but I don't necessarily relate to any of them more so than I do just, I vibe with it. I like it. I'm trying to think of an analysis, but I can't really. I mean, there's an intro track. I really do appreciate those. I think it's great that there's an intro track as well. At least that's what it sounds like. 1,000 Years in the Mountains or 1,000 Years in the Sea. Either one of those. I really do like it. And I think for those very reasons, it's number one. There's not a lot to say. It's just straightforward good with anything. It's not really a deeper analysis. Moving on.
Sitting in my room, what am I doing? Nothing, staring out the window in my tomb. The roof crumbling, my mood dumping. Thoughts are true, tedium and doom in the bun. Cryogenic sleep, wake me up when the lights are gone. Leave a cup of chicken rhyming by the microphone. Spend less time deciding whose exciting side you're on. The return of the one, bruh. Under the ground with the thunder. Hunger, run as I conquer. One love, shut the fuck up, bitch, gun draw.
So this next one is Bsides and Rarities Volume 3. Now, I'm sure you can tell my tastes have changed very much since the last time, considering the first two picks are the same. Don't worry, they do change later on. But the reason I'm putting it here is because the amount of songs is great. I like how many songs are on there. There's definitely a lot, and I feel like some of them being a little bit shorter are really nice. I do like that. I understand that the next thing, sorry, I'm starting a little bit. I'm not very good at speaking, if you couldn't tell. Even though I do have everything formulated, I can't speak. I'm sorry. Well, this next one, a lot of the tones of the songs are very similar, and same with the instrumentals. Now, I understand B-Sides and Rarities is mainly just a collection of songs. I don't think, as far as I know, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to be alike. And he just compiles the ones that sound alike, and that's what it sounds like, and that's what I can tell, and that's what I've seen, judged off of his streams on Twitch. And I really like that. They are so alike, it sounds like it's supposed to be like a concept album. It's on that level of sounding so alike. I love the production done on this, and I've even found a few of the beats done in a few of the songs. I love the sarcasm in this. This is one of the things you can tell with the sarcasm. He's very, such a laid-back tone, despite being super sarcastic and just you can't really tell the negativity in this one. It's not as negative necessarily, and in my opinion, not necessarily as serious. The last album actually featured part of a song, which is You Fuckers Were Asking for This One, the last song in the album. It actually featured that in the first song. So, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I feel like these songs aren't necessarily meant to be super serious as much as they are meant to be just there, and they're very good. They're very good. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good seriously. I'm saying that they're very good. I'm just saying they are more is sort of a funny tone, and very definitely sarcastic. I like, especially with I don't even remember recording this one. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Like, Spellbinding Testicles really shows like the sort of sarcasm and funniness. Lobectomy, sort of, a little bit. Definitely this was a demo for this one song, Lucifer Nichan. You get what I'm saying. And I feel like they all really go well together in this album. And that's my main point, is that you can listen to this album and not even realize the amount of time it took you to listen to this album. Trust me. That's from my personal experience. I've listened to the entire album, and I didn't even know it was done because of just how well it flowed together and just how good it was. And, you know, the tones aren't necessarily super negative. As I said, I understand that's really a jump from listening to it to the tones, but it's not necessarily super negative, but they're not super positive either. It's sort of just sarcasm and funny, you know. I can really appreciate that in this album. I really do like this album. There's probably going to be a lot that I forget to mention about these albums, but I really like just how well the beats go together. That's my favorite part. Like, at least, hear me out, Apophis Oreos, The Return, Lobectomy, We Live, those all sound like that they should be together. What else? Stasis Tank, Society Suicide. You fuckers were asking for this one. Or Nobody But You, Suicidal 2, Neuroframe 14, and what's the one I'm looking for here? Liver Failure. They all just, like, they all really do go well together. Especially, and the titles, too. The titling of it. A lot of it's in parentheses. It's a running theme. It's very thematic. I do like that about this album. Especially that I feel like doesn't seem intentional. Even if it is intentional, it doesn't seem intentional. And that's what I also really like about it. Because it's good without needing to be good. And that's one thing I really do like about it.
Patted on the actions like I didn't matter. Then I try to compensate and find a different pattern. You see, I'm flawed at my core. I need to split the atoms, quit this planet, and finally take a trip to Saturn. Spell, doomed to dwell inside his grueling booty hell. It has been a minute since we shared this shit we've truly felt. Sometimes I'm convinced that our passion will absolutely fail. Sometimes I think our relationship's beyond pursuing help. Been walking the same road for so long. I'm ready to reroute. I don't want you to ever give up, nor envy the me now.
Hey guys, we are going to album number 3, and it is storming so badly outside. Like, so badly, it's ridiculous. We're going on to number 3, and that is I'm On To Me. This album is great, and let me explain for the number one reason. It's storytelling. The storytelling is insane, dude. It's so good. Other people have noticed this, and I didn't think this thought out myself, though I can definitely see it, and it makes so much sense. That it's an album about the cycles of, like, depression and whatnot. And this is probably, aside from the other two, the best album, because of the fact that just, like, one, it's relatable to so many people. A lot of people suffer depression. It's a very common thing. It's not, like, something you have to, like, be through a bunch of shit to go through. It's just, when you're depressed, you go through the shit. And especially, holy shit, especially when you go through all the shit that you do, it gets more extreme, as shown in this album. Like, from the examples is the beginning of Dandelions, right? Talks about how, wish you could grasp connection with your past self, But then the last song, To My Future Self, is about, like, don't envy me now. Right? But then Dandelions, he does envy him now. So, you can see that. And at the end of To My Future Self, he he's blowing. And the beginning is, like, Dandelions hitting the ground of the next song, which would be Dandelions. So if you play this on loop, it's sort of a, just story. And it's a concept album, obviously, but, like, you can tell because the instrumentals generally flow into each other. Like, especially with Me Never into Molasses, it just flows so well together. That's my favorite example. Now, the outlier, in my opinion, to the super distorted and extremely, like, creepy, I listened to it at, like, 3 in the morning the first time I listened to the album. It was when it came out, but I listened to... Holy shit! Okay, I listened to it when it came out at, like, 3 in the morning the next day, and I was legitimately scared. Like, it was just, I don't know, it just gave off such a creepy aesthetic, you know what I mean? And, speaking about depression, relatable, if you listen to the lyrics, it's just... But the outlier to all those is Dead End, which is actually used to be my favorite song. Right now it's Me Never, but, things change. My mind changes very quickly. Dead End is such a good song. And each song has something to symbolize, I wouldn't say stages of depression, because I feel like, putting depression into stages is sort of not really a good description of it, as it's different for everybody, but this is a really good generalization of it. Like, just wishing is one of the greatest, the best thing you can do, just wishing for a better future, wishing for a better outcome. But then you eventually start to, like, shit gets worse, and you eventually start to think, God, I really wish I was that person that I was. I wish everything was way back than it was. Think you're fixing something? Really not. Wish you could go back. That's what I think is really symbolized greatly in this album. The songs themselves are just super good to listen to. And you can, especially with Channel F, you can, like, sort of just hear the emotion in it. He's just very passionate about making the songs. And, that's the reason I gotta put it at number 3, aside from the other two. The reason I put the other two before this one is because those are the first two that I've listened to, and just the songs that I enjoy the most. And I can't really give too many reasonings for it, as it's just like, they're solid songs. I do like them. But if we're speaking on terms of, like, story and songs and replayability, I say I'm On To Me would be the best, but like I said, the other two albums have to go first, just because I've listened to them before, and just because, I've just listened to them before. They're my first albums fully listened to by Ravs, so I gotta put them first. And because I listen to them more than any other album on repeat.